Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Big Mike here. Hey, it's Memorial Day here all over the United States, and I want to send prayers out to the families that have lost a loved one due to war. It's a somber time for me. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, I don't barbecue. I don't do anything. I just remember those brothers and sisters that died for the freedoms that we enjoy here in the States. It is not against anything about family barbecuing, celebrating, as long as we stop and remember the reason for this holiday. And we give thanks to those who gave so much. So I want to wish everybody a great day with family and friends. And again, I hope you stop, think about why we have this holiday. And it doesn't really matter if it's here in the States, if it's overseas in your country. Somebody at some time died for the freedoms you enjoy. And war is a result of negotiations or your political leaders failing at negotiations. So, and always remember, and I've said this before, that soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, you name it, they train for war, but they pray for peace, because nobody wakes up and says, hey, I'd love to die for my country. Now they're willing to do that by signing up and following orders, but nobody in the military, wants to die. But they did since the beginning of our country, and I salute them. And I think about those people on this special day. Now, why some groups have whole months, I can't tell you, but a soldier gets 1 day in May and they get 1 day in November, and that's it. So let's make the best of it. All right. And if you see a veteran, just thank them for their service. It's just, it behooves me that we're a society that praises everything. Everybody has a day. Most people or persons or whatever have a whole month, and soldiers get 1 day for dying and 1 day for surviving as veterans. So anyway, guys, have a great day. So first thing I want to start off with is I want to tell you that up at the top, there is a link if you would like to come up on panel and join me. And a lot of people know somebody in their family or friends that have given the ultimate sacrifice. And if you'd like to salute those persons, I invite you to come up and talk about them or talk about your experience, and that's fine. So let's say hello to people in the chat. Hey, and Jesse, I'm wearing the hat you sent me. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. It cut off early. There's Anna G. Charmaine's here. Morris, good morning to you. Iram, Crystal's Adventure, Journey Smiles, Teresa SSTV, Gertie Senna. There's Ginger Snap, Not For Nothing Homestead, Viking Gaming was in here. Annie was here. There's Rebecca Touched by Yarn. There's Hong Lon over in Asia. Welcome in. Paul Honeyman from England. Welcome in. He is a vet. John Goes Outdoors. Yep, freedom is not free. As much as you think it is, it's not. Ed Kirkpatrick, yes, please thank those who died to protect us. That's right. There's Jesse saying, "Morning, everybody." Linda Good, hello. Team Ohio. Rainy Ridge. Eric and Tina, welcome in. Tuesdays with Joy, saying good morning. Let's continue to shine through the darkness as we pray for our country. God bless our veterans, and in remembrance veterans that have given the sacrifice for our freedom. Absolutely. Out and about with Dave and Dozy. You don't win wars, that's right. And you don't lose wars. You either survive war or you don't. And every survivor is a casualty. Sometimes it's just, I got a little thing over your comment. And in remembrance veterans sacrifice. Every survivor is a casualty. Sometimes you just don't see the scars. I will tell you that we notice the scars, but we don't take into account the scars on the brain that people suffer every single day. And there was somebody in Congress, a lady from Michigan, and she said that we gave $66 billion to undocumented aliens coming into the United States. And she listed all the money that it was spent towards. And then she asked the people that they were interviewing or drilling, really, saying, how much do you think we spent on homeless veterans? And she said $3 billion over the last 10 years. And that's shocking. So there's the priorities for a lot of people. Hey, Our Mountain Homes in here. Welcome in. Jen and Wiley. Let me see. Let me keep going down. Rhonda Dotson, good morning. Tony at Our Cabin in the Woods. Good morning, brother. Lori Carp's in here. All right. I'm at the bottom. Imagine that, right? I'm at the bottom. One of the things I wanted to talk about this morning, and I don't know if they're going to come in or not, but I invited Heard That and Heard That Outdoors to the Morning Talk with Mike to talk about Pinecone Fest a little bit. So we'll do that once they come in. So hopefully they do. But if they don't, then we'll talk about it towards the end. But they had to cancel their live last night, and they were going to talk about it then. They did do impromptu live, talking to everybody. And, I think that people who come there, they come to any meetup. There's a lot of people that go there ready to support the meetup, and we're living examples of that. And, you know, it is a blessing, but also if you're the host of something like this, it's also good to know who's actually coming and coordinate those things. So I know that Terry and I are going to Pinecone Fest. We are bringing our Blackstone. I'm a big fan of the taco bar this year they were talking about. Big fan of the taco bar because you can put anything on a taco. All right. Street tacos is really what we're talking about. The soft shell or the tortilla size one. You can put chicken on it. You can put beef on it. You can put seafood on it. You can put hamburger on it. You can put anything, fish. So I'm a big fan of the street taco. So if that's the direction we're going to go for Pinecone Fest, big fan. Okay. And it's just really condiments. I mean, there's going to be people bringing their, what is that stuff called? Cowboy relish, or what is that?
Cowboy candy.
Cowboy candy. Some of it will blow your lid off because some people don't have a restraint on how hot it is. But yeah, down at the bottom, I've got I forgot to take off the Sunday chat. So hang on a bloody second. Let's see. Let's do this because they are not going to do that part. Let me get rid of that. Oop. Delete. And save. Ticker. There we go. Yeah. Because I think the 13th of October is Columbus Day, aka Indigenous Peoples Day. So we can get everybody on board with that. Hey, Shirley De La Cruz, welcome in. There's our Works Littlefield. Let's see. Tony figuring it out with Catfish. Hey, good morning. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to Figuring It Out with Catfish, check him out. Good channel. He does a lot of good stuff on there. Karen Brest, good morning to you. Let's see. Oh, did you see the DOD accepted a $400 million 747 to be used. When I say the DOD, you know the Air Force is getting it. And then they're going to deck that thing out to be the new presidential Air Force. What is it going to be called? Is it going to be the new Air Force One? But they have to go over it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure somebody or some peoples didn't put some kind of device on there or spy equipment and stuff like that. So, yeah, Shirley De La Cruz came over from Husky Edna, our friend down in Australia land. Webb's Web. Hey, Ralph. Good morning to you, brother. But the Air Force is taking that over. And I guess they're going to put a nice blue, I don't know, maybe it may not be blue. I don't know what color they're going to paint it. But they got a a lot of work on it to, I guess, to put bedrooms in there and offices in there and areas for the uh, news people and his staff and all kinds of stuff. And I'm wondering if it's one of those that they has a back ramp so they can put the vehicles on it. So, because he's got to have his cars with him and all that stuff. So, hey, Mike Birch, welcome in, brother. So again, up at the top, there is a pen up there if you want to join me. And we can talk about anything. Morning talks usually go in one direction or another, or no direction at all.
They usually go off the rail.
Yeah, we go off the rail, like Terry just said. She's over here monitoring and making sure she's fact checking me.
We would like to warn everyone it is snake season.
Oh, guys, big news.
Not good news.
Well, not good news. Yeah, Terry's prompting me. But Terry drove to Joplin yesterday to pick up one of our granddaughters coming in from Missouri, and picked her up, and they drove from Joplin straight to Oklahoma City on 40. I'm guessing it was 40, or was it 44?
44.
On 44.
I
Yeah, because
waved
that's up there.
As I went past the Luther exit, I waved.
Yeah, Terry waved as she went by the Luther exit. But anyway, our granddaughter Mackenzie is at Oklahoma Children's Hospital. She's in there. They were out in their backyard, and their dog ran off into the grass and was barking and stuff. And they thought the dog was barking at some rabbits because they've seen bunnies, because the bunnies are everywhere right now in Oklahoma. And so she went in there and she was looking, and she moved the grass, and a copperhead sprung up and bit her on the little finger. And her hand looked like you took one of those surgical gloves and blew it up like a balloon, and it started going. So they took her to the hospital. And did they air her there or ambulanced?
They were going to air.
They were going to air, but they took her by ambulance to Oklahoma Children's Hospital. And they had, how many vials did they have on?
She said they've done 40 now.
On her?
Yeah, they started with 10 and they're up to 40 vials.
Yeah, they're up to 40 vials of anti-venom on her. So what I'm thinking is it was a smaller copperhead.
I don't know.
And because a small copperhead, they tend to release everything.
Right.
Where an adult one
or it could have been,
uses it just to stun their prey.
I don't think
and
they're
then
totally
take
certain.
over.
It could have been a rattlesnake.
Okay, but they think it was a copperhead.
They have no clue.
Oh, they have no clue what it was.
It was one or the other.
Mom reported a copperhead.
Right.
So it could have been rattlesnake, because we do have them here. Hey, Mini Cactus, welcome in. So she was sent up there. She's been up there 2 days now?
Yeah.
Did that happen on Saturday?
It happened, yeah. Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday.
I don't know.
So she's up there. They're
Sunday.
pumping the anti-venom in her. So anyway, Terry took her little sister, picked her up in Joplin, and they went up there and visited Mackenzie. I stayed home because we had the big storms coming through. And there was a huge sale that went in between Paul's Valley and Sulphur. And Sulphur this last year most of the city got wiped out by a tornado. So this one came through. And then last night we had a monster come through. Guys, I mean a monster storm came through. And everything was just, it's like hell broke loose here in Oklahoma on that storm. And we haven't figured out what happened, where any tornadoes landed or went through or anything like that. But our main concern was our granddaughter, Mackenzie. Don't know what the after is going to be because her arm and hand is just blown up. So now I don't know.
They're just monitoring her.
They're monitoring right now. So they're testing her blood and all that stuff. And we'll see what happens. But prayers for our beautiful granddaughter that she has a full recovery and she gets to come home and they get everything under control. So that's pretty scary, but it's snake season, guys.
Yeah.
Terri's taken a couple of snakes out of the chicken house. They love chicken eggs. They won't really mess with the chickens, but man, those eggs, they just swallow them. And you throw them out, and you see the big lumps where the eggs are going down. And the big ones, they take in as much as they can, but Terrie lets them go.
Well, not the ones.
Let's be real, okay?
The ones in the coop, I usually, except for the one the other day, I didn't have anything handy to.
So the other day, we were doing a live, or we were doing something, and it got late. And she goes, "Man, I got to go out there and check on the chickens because we didn't close the run or nothing like that. We have that automatic chicken door. Sun goes down, door shuts, and if the chickens didn't get in, and usually the chickens, they always get in." So we go out there because, that's right, we're going to Mid-America.
Yeah.
And I went in there to pour the feed in, their big 5-gallon feeder because we're going to be gone for the weekend. And I get the feed and everything, and I'm walking out. And Terrie says, "Okay, I just threw a snake out. Dude, if you know me," I screamed and I got this light and I'm looking around. She goes, "Oh, no, it went off over there." I said, "Don't just say I just threw a snake out around me because I scream like a little girl." Okay. I don't like them, period. And a while back, I told stories why I don't like them. Okay. I don't trust them. They look devilish. And yeah, don't like them at all. And I've seen or know a lot of people that have been bitten by timber rattlers, sidewinders, what are those called? The sand viper, vicious. Okay, they will run you down, and I don't like them. Okay, I'm good with earthworms. That's the biggest thing that I can handle, an earthworm. Put them on the hooks. They don't have the teeth to hurt me. But man, I remember I was in a John boat with chicken wire on the side. I said, first time in Alabama, I said, "What's up with all the chicken wire?" "You'll see." Dude, I sat in that John boat and I was just absolutely traumatized. How many water moccasins were on that river? And I'm going to tell you what, I don't play with them. Okay. They were just like onto the chicken wire. Like, dude, they were after me and they were just, he goes, "Dude, just hit them with the paddle." I said, no. So I remove them permanently if I encounter them. And Terrie hates to do that. She hates to kill anything. I do all the killing on the homestead.
No, you don't.
What do you kill?
The snakes.
Well, she could every once in a while. But
the ones that are in the coop.
If
they're in the coop, I will kill them. If they're not.
So I've seen so far this season black snakes. What is that other one? That corn snake, rat snake,
the king snake,
and I seen copperhead. I was mowing, and then there's a little ditch on the side of our property that runs the fence line, and there he was, that orangish and black pattern. I said, man, now I know my snakes, the ones that will hurt me, I know them. And he was a big copperhead. He was probably, I mean, a huge copperhead is probably maybe 3 foot long. Okay. They don't get no bigger than that. That's about the average size of a copperhead. But some of these snakes we got here, the rattlers, king snake, and king snake's not really going to hurt you, but it's the thought of watching those videos in the past where the fangs come out and they do a slow motion and you're running around with a snake hooked to you. I don't do well with that. I'd rather go to war. I'm telling you what, if I was in Southeast Asia in Vietnam, dude, I don't know what I would have done. Because they got some snakes over there, and I'd give our position away screaming. Yep. Hey, Jesse, how you doing, brother?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, happy Memorial Day.
Yep.
And salute to all those that gave the ultimate. Yeah, if you ever watch Mike and Terry, or if you've ever watched Sergeant's Talk, or if you ever watch Morning Talk with Mike, you'll know you'll get a word in edgewise eventually.
Yeah.
But when Mike's talking.
I'm good.
So
yeah. That's why Terry pays me.
Right? That's why you have morning talks with Mike now. Because, he wasn't getting enough on Wednesday nights. He wasn't getting enough on Tuesday nights. He wasn't getting enough, period. So that's why he's got morning talks on Mondays and Fridays now.
That's right.
I'm going to be surprised if we don't start doing this Wednesday, and Fridays.
No, that's way too much for me. I'm live 4 times a week, and that is enough.
Well, 5 will get complete
I
the
ain't
week.
got nothing else to do, right?
That's true. Now that you're retired, you just find all kind of time, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so when we come through Highway 69, I guess it's 69 that goes up through McAllister. Is that what?
Yeah.
69? And I saw that military ammunition depot sign.
Yeah.
How far from the highway is the depot from 69?
Not even a mile.
Not even a mile. Okay. Because I see there every time I go through there, I said, well, that's where Mike used to work.
Yep, that's where he used to work. 4 years there.
Yeah. So
4 years was enough.
Well, I know. Well, that 35 years at Shell. So yeah, I had plenty of that and had enough. But I still have my old Army hat too.
Yeah.
I've had these couple of years now. So
hey, Butler Family Farm.
No, so once again, congratulations on the awesome meetup you guys had.
Thanks.
For Mid-America.
Thank you and everybody else that helped.
Well,
I mean, nothing can be done without support.
Yeah, I mean, that's just with anything you do, especially a meetup. You got to have help. You can't do it by yourself,
No,
and as you guys saw, especially when you're the cookers, salute to all the cookers, man. I tell you, the cookers were there.
Yeah.
And they did a great job.
And I'm all for that pancake breakfast at Pinecone Fest. Terry proved she can put out some pancakes.
Yeah. Pancakes are good. Well, everything's good. I'm saying what, don't even go if you don't bring bacon.
Yeah.
Got to have bacon.
Yeah. We cook 9 pounds a day.
You got to have bacon. I mean, even if you have just pancakes, you got to have bacon on the side.
Mm-hmm.
If you have eggs, you got to have bacon.
And if you have Jesse at your meetup, you have to have bacon. Because he'll double take it next year if you don't have bacon at yours.
So when we were, I was standing over there by the serving line, and people were coming in, and they were getting their eggs, and getting their bacon, and they were looking, where's the hash brown? Well, there's no hash browns. Anyway, but we had the sausage, and they were looking at the bacon and sausage and couldn't decide. I said, well, this one's javelina, and this one is armadillo. So whichever one of the sausages you like, now I'll just take some bacon.
No, I seen people take the spoon and just put a couple of pieces of meat after you said that on there. Before that, they were just shoveling it on. Then they went, I'll just try a little bit.
Yeah, try a little bit. Yeah, it worked.
Well, at
But yeah,
least
they were
it lasted for everybody.
Yeah, shoveling it all. They were shoveling it all in. Now
Hey, there's Kentucky bluegrass living.
I'm not against anybody getting as much food as they want, but make sure what you get, you eat. Because
Exactly.
we experienced that at MT at 10 Killer, where so many people were throwing food away. Why are you doing that?
Oh, and I said
You know?
something. When the kids eat, okay, they think they're at home and they just leave everything on the table. Okay.
Right.
Large people clean up after. Teach your children where the trash can is. Teach them young. Teach them at home. That's part of home raising.
Right.
I went back to my kid raising years, and I'm looking, man. I mean, they got syrup all over the table. They got ketchup somewhere, and they start squirting before they get over their food. But that's okay. It's part of the cleanup, and everybody helped. But I did notice kids do not clean up after themselves.
I noticed the same thing, Mike. Is that where'd these kids grow up?
I don't know.
I mean, they just left everything on the table, and anyway, and some
Well,
weren't just kids though.
Half the kids belong to Dawn.
Well, but some of them weren't kids too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that is
I'm
true.
not complaining. I'm just voicing my concern.
Hey, large family homesteads here.
Hey, large family homestead. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, large family homestead.
Wow. But yeah, you had a good turnout. It was excellent meetup, guys. If you get to make it to the Mid America, you need to make it next year. It's an awesome time to get to know others, get to meet people that you see on lives all the time, or you see on YouTube watching their videos.
Yeah.
And it like I said, and we go several days ahead so we can relax. We're in a relaxed mode already until Terry shows up.
Yeah. Hey, there's K&K Traveling. They are a channel. They live out. They live in McAllister. They live in McAllister. I work with him. He's part of Combat Vets Motorcycle Association with me.
Christy.
Yep, Christy. And they do some awesome camping at trailer state parks. They're getting ready to go to Yellowstone, and they're going to do a series on camping and their adventures in Yellowstone. So please check out their channel. Also, he is the maker of the cornhole board. Okay. If you're looking for a customized cornhole board game, and he can print whatever you want and put it on the front of your board for cornhole, he's the guy for you. And he's now making smaller ones that you can fit in your RV through your storage area. So it's lighter, it's smaller, and he does those custom boards. So if you're looking for something like that, hit up K&K Traveling, our good friends. And he works over at both of him and his wife both work on the Army plant, the ammunition depot over here in McAllister also. So yeah, check them guys out.
We met large family homesteading at the Okie Homestead Expo.
Oh, okay.
And they said they might be able to stop in for a day at Pinecone Fest. They'd be close to the Texoma one too.
Yeah, Texoma. 2026 Mid-America will be at Lake Texoma. So we like both sides, the Texas side and the Oklahoma side, as far as the parks and the Corps of Army Engineer parks. The state parks are nice. The Corps of Army Engineers spots are nice. Those are the ones that fill up quick. The Corps of Army Engineer parks.
Either the Corps of the Engineer parks are some of the best because they're well maintained. They're well maintained.
Yeah, it's your federal dollars going there.
Exactly. but they do keep those parks. I know that for a fact.
Because as a former government employee for 45 years, when you run out of money, you say, hey, I need more. And somebody's up there with a gigantic shovel, just shoveling it down. But they are kept up really nice, those facilities.
It would be nice to see the large family homestead if they can make it to Pinecone Fest this year. That's going to
Sure.
be in October. They mentioned I saw in the chat earlier that might be able to make it down there, but
there's Square County homesteads here.
Folks, we've been to a lot of meetups. I'm gonna tell you, there's nothing like Pinecone Fest. And I say, I'm not taking away from anything from Ten Killer or Mid America, but it's right on the water. I mean, if you left your car in reverse, you're gonna fall in the water. Okay, that's how close you are to water.
Now, I will tell you, for Pinecone Fest, you can't make a reservation farther out than 90 days.
60. It's
60
days.
60 days now.
Yeah, 60 days. Yeah.
60 days.
Yeah,
so if it starts on the 10th, okay, you better be on your computer on the 10th of August.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're strict about that.
You'll be sitting there ready to hit the button because that is a beautiful park. It fills up quick.
That's why they do the 60 days.
Yeah.
Because it is a beautiful park and it fills up quick.
Yeah. Now, state parks, they give you 6 months. Okay. But I'm going to tell you something. You're not going to find a prettier place to go camping than Walleye Park down there on Lake Cypress Springs, down in Mount Vernon, Texas. So get ready for that. I'm still got my fingers crossed that Julie's going to come on and give us some more information. But I do, like I said earlier, I do like the taco bar. I like
Me
that.
too. I like the taco bar.
I like the full-blown breakfast at one, then a pancake breakfast at the other one. We'll get there on a Thursday. I don't know. We may go down there even earlier than that. We have to work out a few things for, as far as a camper and stuff like that. But
you got chickens, you got animals to deal with.
We got animals to take care of and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the only thing stopping us. If we can get somebody to come and sit at the house and homestead for us and eat all our food and watch our cable TV or actually Apple TV and use all our water up and stuff like that, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Eat
up all your snacks.
Oh, exactly. And then pay him to do that.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
Well, you know what? I might come do it for you, Mike, and I'll miss a Pinecone Fest this year if I can do all that.
Yeah.
And get paid to do it too.
And I'm good with it because, peace of mind, you enjoy, so everything's taken care of, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right.
Now, if and when we become RVers, then, I don't have to worry about that stuff no more. In fact, we were looking at campers, and my big thing was I seen a channel that has their camper, and you know how the bed raises up, it's on like a box, right?
Right.
They had smaller dogs than we did. They had 2 border collies, and they took underneath there, and that's where they made their kennels and put a gate on it, and their dogs go in there and sleep, so they're not running around on all. And if they're not watching their P's and Q's, get in your kennel. My dogs are sleeping on the floor; they don't even hear me. And that's where they keep them. So it's like out of sight, out of mind, and everything's taken care of. So I kind of like that idea. But yeah, we're going to have a higher bed on a travel trailer for these guys. So, but anyway.
We only got little Toby, so.
Hey, there's Leanne Gunther. Hello, Leanne.
Yep.
Good to see you. And I see Scott rambling with the brooms. I know.
Square County Homestead come in.
James Hall, y'all. He's here. Oh, and we did put out a video the other day on CC sent me a chainsaw, a little hand chainsaw. Dude, I've never owned one, and I was always skeptical about it because they just look so cheap. And I'm going to tell you something. I guess they've come a long ways with these little cordless chainsaws, but man, I'm going to tell you, only thing I don't like, and you can see it in the video, is me trying to hit that safety button when I have it in this hand, because I had the camera in one hand, I have the little mini chainsaw on this, and I couldn't hit that little safety button. If you have it in your right hand, your thumb's right there, and you just push it in.
Yeah,
But
I have the same one, and they're not ambidextrous.
no.
You got to be right-handed, or they're mainly made for right-handed folks.
If they put a button on both sides, I'd be a happy camper, right?
Well, I used to do I used to have 16 or 13 sago palms in the front, and you got to trim them sago palms every year. And I was out there going clip, 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 clip with a clipper, right?
Yeah.
Not anymore. Right? My wife got me that little handheld chainsaw, and I grab like 5.
Yeah.
And it just zips right through them. Can't beat it. And it gets right in the tight spots.
So I seen people, and I also put out a short off that video. I seen people cutting through a 2x4, and I said, you know what? I've got to do one better. So I took a 4x4, a pressure treated 4x4, and Terry told me, she goes, you just wasted a good 4x4 because everybody knows what the price of wood is. She goes, why didn't you just cut it off at the end instead of taking a big old chunk? And once you did that, why didn't you take that big chunk and then cut that one? He goes, you just ruined a whole damn 4x4.
You tell them, Terry.
I was not even pushing. I mean, it cut through that thing and nothing flat. Hey, there's Scott. Hey, brother.
Hey.
He couldn't stand it. He couldn't
love
stand
the goatee, brother. Love the goatee.
Happy Memorial Day to you too. And, appreciate you guys for signing that ultimate check, and
Yeah.
appreciate yous and all that.
And to
fell
your son
amongst,
also.
Canadians. Yeah, they just celebrated last week.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but ours last week was the Queen's birthday. She dead. She dead.
Yeah. And we don't have a queen no more, is there?
No.
No,
the King's here this week, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He's in Canada?
Yeah, apparently they said just stay away from between the airport and Parliament Hill. Stay away.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And you were saying Saker. I love them. They sent me a 4-inch, a 6-inch, and a car polisher.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The car polisher is amazing.
Yeah.
And all of it was free. The only thing, they couldn't send me the car polisher to Canada because of the size of the lithium battery. I had to pick it up out of the States. It was too big to go on a plane or something, so they land transferred it across the U.S. and then I picked it up and brought it back. But I mean,
is Shaker a different company than CC?
No, mine's a Saker. So I think they're the same. I think they're the same.
They look awful close.
Mike, it's like this. God created the earth. God created the world. China made everything else.
There you go. Yeah.
No, whether it's CC or Saker,
Well, I'm going to tell you, I mean, somehow, for some reason, when you do a video on someone's product, I mean, these companies come out the woodwork afterwards. Okay. If you do a decent video, they come out the woodwork especially if people are using that promo code they give you,
Yes.
because they can track. If they hit the promo code, they know that they came from us, and then I'm telling you, they don't leave you alone. And that's okay if it's good. If it's something you want, I mean, we get offers all the time when we just go, well,
Yep.
first of all, your English is not very good. Okay. And you're trying to decipher some of these emails. And then you know where they're coming from. They're either coming from Korea, they're coming from China, mostly, somewhere over in Asia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then they come out of the woodwork. So we only take things. We go, well, I kind of would like to have the mini chainsaw because we have all these trees and all this stuff around here.
Mhm.
And my trees at the bottom were looking like bushes. So and so I said, okay, I will do that. What do they want? Okay. And that's one thing. If you're a channel, really truly look over what their requirements are.
Right.
The higher the price on the item that they want to give you, the more requirements may be bestowed upon you.
Yeah.
Like we had this one, they want a full video, they want a short video, then they want you to incorporate the product in another video, and then they want 10 pictures that they can use in their advertisement. But
Wow.
the price of what they want to send us is over $2,000. So you have to look at the pros
Yeah.
and cons to that, because you might be on there and all of a sudden your picture's over in China and they're filming something and there you are in a commercial somewhere, because you give up the rights once you do that.
Yeah.
So you got to take a whole bunch of stuff in consideration. Or, there's always the option of I will do it for this, because you have the right to say, okay, I'll do this, but our channel requires payment of a certain percent of the cost of whatever you're sending me or whatever you work out with them. So it can happen that way also. So if you're a channel, just don't dive into everything, because
You get yourself a bad name doing that.
lighting stuff, and it was crap. And I said, it's somewhere in a drawer somewhere. And they called back. Hey, I said, hey, your stuff is crap, and we ain't doing a video on this. And until you send me a box with a label on it, so I don't have to pay for it to go back, then you can have it back. So it's in the junk pile. And Terrie's learned you don't say yes to a lot of stuff. So.
And I tell them right off the get-go, if I don't like it, I'm not doing a video.
Oh yeah.
And I might do a video one in every 6
Yeah.
that I've tried that I think, this is going to benefit somebody. I'm working on a deal right now, and yes, it's like what you said. It's a lot of money, but it also is going to change people's lives.
Sure.
So, it's the first time that my disability's actually paid off. if there's such a thing. But everybody seems to be getting different emails depending on where you are, you guys to us. And
Sure.
I had this one seed company contact me, and I said, no, sorry, I already work with a good seed company here. And I said, where do you get your seeds from? Oh, very good seeds, very good seeds. I said, I don't want your Chinese seeds
Yeah.
because your weather is totally different. And I said, your seeds are not going to grow in my area.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I'll stick with our good friend that is sponsoring the Vineyard Chicks, and I've got a um, affiliate page through, and I love his seeds. I've got about a 95% grow rate.
Yeah,
So, but he grows in the same grow zone as me.
sure.
But
I mean, I
Well,
we stopped doing a garden. We tried from raised beds to raising stuff in these. I don't know if you've seen them, the big molasses tubs. The
Yep.
farmers around here, they just blow all over the place. You just pick them up and you can make beds for it. Because between our chickens, okay, destroying everything around here, to the grasshopper invasion every other year, and the locusts that come through here, and then the tons of armadillos. Our grass looks like a golf course with bad golfers on it. Okay, because all you have is little holes everywhere, and then you have the deer come through because we got the nut tree out back, and then they destroy everything because they're just pawing it to get because they smell a nut underneath the ground. It's just we just said, you know what, the hell with this. We're not going to do it because we put all that time and effort into it, and even if you put a fence up, you're not going to stop the grasshoppers. And if you remember the videos, we didn't have a leaf on a tree here when they come.
that was wicked.
Yeah.
Mike,
Crazy.
I do want to say that, for all the people in the chat that may receive some offers, be careful on those emails that you get because some of them could be scams.
Yeah.
And if it tells you to open up the PDF or open up a document to read the stuff, don't do it. They'll tell you in the email what it's all about. If you have to open up a document to understand what's going on, don't do it.
Yeah. Even
I'm not sure
if they put that Amazon, check it up on Amazon link, get out of that, open up a window and find it on Amazon.
Correct. Do it the long way versus clicking on an easy link. Don't do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Country Road Cure that had a problem with an email that they got, and they almost lost their YouTube page. Because of a link that they clicked on. So be careful, especially if they don't speak very good Spanglish or English or whatever.
English.
English. If their English is not good.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, Lisa she'll look at these offers we get, and some of them, oh my goodness. The English, it's like, no, we ain't doing it. We ain't touching it. And we usually look it up, like you said, the old fashioned way by going and trying to find the product and reading up about it. But just be careful on those emails.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Crazy.
I planted 25 tomato plants over the weekend.
Did you?
Yep, sir.
Are you outside already, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Everything's outside. I actually sowed in the ground also.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, Lisa starts everything indoors now. We do everything hydroponically first, and then even corn. She started everything hydroponically, and then after that, it goes outside. Man, I love the hydroponics. If you can't do hydroponics, buddy, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Listen, if hydroponics is so easy, I was a little skeptical, but Miss Lisa was doing it and Mike still, I see more and more people and I'm like, mom and dad offered me 2 of their aquaponic things. And I'm like, well, all right, all the chemical, or not the chemical, but the fertilizer and everything was there. And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I swear by it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to plant another probably 15 to 20 tomato plants in about 2 weeks. They should be ready to go outside. What I want to do is make enough spaghetti sauce that I don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know what? And I don't know. I don't think Terry has ever made store bought tomato sauce. She makes everything for her when she's making spaghetti or when she's making lasagna.
Mhm.
So you know, I was raised because when I was a kid and ragu came out, I'm going to tell you, I thought that's the way spaghetti's supposed to taste, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And of course, everybody says, "Oh, but you haven't tried mine," or "You haven't tried deer the way I cook it," or "You don't, blah blah blah," so on and so forth. The only thing that you can never convince me of is eating liver. Okay, I
oh,
got
that's
I
so
got
good. Liver and bacon.
I got deathly sick watching Terry eat. I wasn't even concentrating on my meal as I was watching Terry do it and watching her put it in her mouth and thinking what got me sick is I kissed those lips. And
I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike. I can't do liver.
I had to go to the bathroom because
No.
that's how much I hate liver.
Well, you know what to do now, Terry.
Yeah. So she only eats liver. Like if I had to go on a business trip when I was working, that's when she'd eat liver. I don't do it. Yeah, it's nasty stuff.
But you'll
No.
eat Braunschweiger, and that's
But I'll eat Braunschweiger. Okay.
Yeah, but that's usually mixed.
Stuff like that.
But
I'll
that's
eat
mixed.
that stuff. But
That's
not,
mixed. Yeah, that's not the same.
something that tastes like you're eating you're sucking on a penny in your mouth.
Well,
yeah.
now nothing against tomatoes. I don't mind tomatoes. But here's the thing: it's the same difference. If you eat a tomato, like an apple, or you eat hot sauce, or you eat taco sauce, or you eat spaghetti sauce, it's the same as that.
Yeah.
It's not the same as eating a raw piece of liver.
Yeah.
Or not raw, but cooked liver. Ugh.
But
Nope.
again, that all goes
Not gonna do it.
you were saying about the spaghetti sauce.
Yeah. And then the spaghetti sauce, I mean, my mom would boil spaghetti and then dump a couple of jars of this stuff on there and then stir it all up together. That's what I thought spaghetti was. And then Terry made it for me. And I told her, she goes, "What some of the things?" I said, "I hate pasta. I hate it to a T. I can't stand
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Mike, because I can't say that I agree because I've never tasted Mrs. Terry's spaghetti sauce.
Oh, it's good.
I've never anything
You
I've
know.
had of Miss Terry's is amazing.
Yeah. And I will tell you, I mean, I said, "Man, once again," she goes, "It's got to cook down." She goes, "Slow your roll, big guy." And I'm thinking spaghetti should only take you as long as it takes the noodles to get soft. I grew up that way, but she's in there for 4 hours constantly. She's doing the stir thing and tasting it and blah, 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 and adding. And then when she's happy with it, she'll say, "Here, taste this." And I'll taste it. And I'm going to tell you something. She converted me back to pasta. Okay. So
no more ragu for you, huh?
no, if you just shot past the ragu.
Or you have the people that they get ragu and use it for the base of their sauce.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, my wife, Deb, had never tried homemade spaghetti sauce, like actual making the sauce yourself, right from scratch. I made about 5 or 6 jars of good sauce last year, and gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay then. So anything that I can do that we know where all our food comes from, I'm
Yeah.
okay with.
Yeah. And I'm good with that. But I mean, do I wish we could do a garden? Yeah. I wish we could. But I see a guy down here, he plows up a whole, section of his land and he plants a garden. But then you'll drive by it in the morning and the freaking deer are in his garden. He don't have a fence up or nothing, but he
Oh,
plants it
wow.
big enough. Hopefully he gets something out of it. But I mean, the deer are in there, the rabbits are in there, and they're just tearing up his thing. Or the neighbor's goat got loose.
He
And
forgot to put up the sign.
I
If
don't care.
you eat out of this patch, you're going to be part of the sauce.
I don't care if you're growing 10 cans. That goat's going to eat something. So,
Oh, you damn right it is.
hey, Ginger Snap's back.
Where you get them tin can seeds at there, Mike?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's see.
Lisa's got all these Roma tomatoes this year. I don't know what she's going to make with them, but I might have to talk her into making some spaghetti sauce.
Now, my grandmother used to, I'd say she grew a garden, but I was out there with a shovel and a hoe turning her entire garden over when I was a kid. Because that's all the fancy equipment we had was shovels, picks, and a hard sand rake. And so I would have to do her garden every year for her, and then we'd plant it. And I don't know, she could grow anything. But when I'd play football or sports, I remember her giving me a tomato, and I used to eat those like apples.
Yeah.
And I loved
Put the acid back into your body.
Yeah. Because they say a tomato has more potassium in it than a banana's. You'd have to eat a bushel of bananas.
It is technically a fruit,
Yeah.
And that it is. I just got some. I'm reading some tomato. I've never tried this organic tomato plant food.
Oh, this is a new channel. I subscribed to them this morning. Alexander Reactions. He's in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
So check out his channel. He does react videos and stuff like that. So please check Alexander Reaction and check out his channel. So I just met him this morning on
I was stationed right there by Luxembourg. We used to go to Luxembourg.
You were?
All the time. Yeah.
Well, you were close to Trier.
Trier. I was right there by Trier. Yeah. Right there close to Trier in Bitburg.
Oldest Catholic church in Germany's in Trier.
Yep. Was the Porta Negra is there too. The original entrance into the city. It's really nice. But yeah, Luxembourg is beautiful.
Yep. Love Luxembourg. I've been there many a time.
Yeah. It's a little bitty, tiny country. It's probably smaller than New Jersey.
Yeah.
but it's still a country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, World War II, everybody rolled over that in Luxembourg. Hey, the wild huckleberries. Welcome in. I'm trying to go down here so I put everybody up there. Hey, there's Rice Lewis. Welcome in, brother.
The president of Jolly Hugs.
Yep. Oh, here's another one. There's another channel I subscribed to this morning.
Oh, really?
Broken Angel. Please go over there and check her out, guys.
You're way behind, Mike. Oh my
goodness.
I know. He makes Terry look like an angel.
That's like 45 minutes.
Here we go. I'm scrolling. Sorry, everybody. There's Rebecca Touched by Yarn. We said hello to her at the beginning. Yeah, it's got to be a slow cook.
So, Scott, are you going to be making it to Pinecone Fest this year?
Who's
All
that?
depends, brother.
You're going to win the lottery, right?
Well, no, as long as I win the poll on the ship, we'll be all right.
Yeah, that storm last night, man.
Oh, you guys had
I
was
thought I
slow
was in
too.
a combat zone there for a while. It was getting bad.
Arkansas got hit really bad. So did Georgia. I was watching that thing go across Texas and the whole United States. It was just really slow. I mean, really slow.
Yeah, it was one of those storms that hit
Georgia.
us probably around 9:30, and it didn't end until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
it was just not really freaking moving, and it went right over our entire county, and it kept going east to northeast, and it was a bad one because it just did not want to move.
Ground saturated out there.
Yeah.
We
got another 2 plus 3 inches of rain last night.
Well, that one that whenever you guys were, was it Mid-America? Whenever the big one, yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. So it was yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, like 1, 2, 3, like 3 spots next to us. A whole tree fell over.
Yeah.
That's how bad that wind was.
But that was crazy. That one started below Dallas, and it was a complete line above north of me.
Yeah.
It was like, now that's one heck of a storm.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And it was that Monday after that we had the 2 tornadoes, one south and one north
Yeah,
of us.
right after we got back, we had one that was over by my granddaughter where she lives. It missed them and went across 69 by the power plant by Kiowa. Then almost wiped out Blanco, this little town of Blanco, and it just kept going. It was on the ground for almost 75 miles. And then
my goodness,
there was another one just to the north of us that hit McAllister over here. So we were like right in the middle. I don't know what it is or what God put in place, but it just seems like they have a pattern of where they come down. I guess whatever, because I guess, where Oklahoma City is, all tornadoes go through El Reno, through Moore, and then they make this turn like it's a NASCAR race, and then it goes down to, what's that town? Shawnee, and then it turns at Shawnee and then goes north by northeast every single time.
I'll tell you what, I don't know how Oklahoma I don't know anybody can get homeowners insurance in El Reno, Oklahoma, or anywhere just about in that Tulsa area or whatever. I don't see how they can afford to get insurance because they're always getting hit by tornadoes.
Well, it's kind of like Florida. I mean, the same thing down there. How many times you're going to rebuild, and how many times is FEMA going to give you money to rebuild, or your insurance? Now, I did see, guys, and you need to pay attention, and you need to Google this on the YouTubes, is Congress is investigating the fraud in the insurance companies for your homes. And right now, last one I watched, they had all state adjusters in front of Congress. And these adjusters,
I watched
that are contracted by them, are telling you, hey, this one lady was on there and they said, well, how much did they had a big tree fall on their house and just freaking tear it up.
Yeah.
And they said, how much did they offer you? $46,000.
Yeah.
And they said, what was the initial? Because they brought the adjuster from her claim, which is an independent company that Allstate hires. And he said $467,000 to replace the damage that this gigantic tree went across their house and just tore it up.
Two
And
people got fired in that too.
the adjuster said, I was told by Allstate to adjust my findings to be in line with what they wanted to pay. And he walked away. So they found another adjuster to do exactly that. But that adjuster would not come on. That was their hitman from the insurance company. So you might find that somebody's going to pay somebody out because $46,000 compared to $467,000 is a big difference. And I ain't that smart, but I know it's a big difference.
Well, if it's 46,000, they're going to pay the first 10,000 just to get the tree removed.
Exactly. So I'm just like going, I'm glad they're investigating. The next thing they need to do is go after them frickin' dentists because they're charging way more than they should for a dentist. And then they need to go after and fix the healthcare in the States because these prices are, because if you're a veteran and you're going to the VA, I look at they send it to me and it says the hospital wants $497 for the set of x-rays. And then it says, because the VA only pays the Medicare prices, right? And they sent them $87. So then they send in another claim, okay, for radiology. Then they take it and they break down each picture. And then they said, okay, and I'm going, wait a minute. I didn't go in there for that one. But this is what they do. And they date it for the same time. And they charge them for each one of them. And it still comes out. They get another $87 because of Medicare. And I'm just like going, wait a minute. That is the same thing. And they're trying to use it, you know, to make money and stuff like that. They need to go after these people because this is getting stupid.
Right. So I get an infusion. I get an infusion every 8 weeks from arthritis, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And they charge my insurance company $7,000 for each one of those treatments.
Oh, wow.
$7,000. And I get 2 treatments. So it's 2 bags full worth of so that's $14,000 that they charge the insurance.
Yeah.
And I said one day, I said, well, what if I didn't have insurance and I wanted to pay for this out of pocket? How much would it cost me?
You'd be dead.
$800.
Yeah.
If I bought it out of pocket, it cost me $800, but they're charging the insurance company $7,000 per unit.
Because
That's
can.
crazy. That's right, because the insurance is paying it. And it's like, that's crazy.
That anti-venom?
Yeah.
And they're at 40 vials, $4,000 a vial. It's
Yeah, $4,000 a vial, and our daughter's on her 44th dose of anti-venom there.
And I bet you that same vial, you can get it in another country for $100.
Oh, sure. Sure.
You know, especially like in Europe.
Yeah.
Well, look at Big Bob. He comes across from Michigan into Canada to get his prescriptions.
I knew there was a reason I like Karen Brass.
That's wrong.
Yeah, it's the more detrimental your health care need is, for some reason, it's an astronomical price. You know what I mean? If you have an illness that will kill you, they gouge the crap out of you because they know you're willing to pay that. You're willing to mortgage your. I mean, my brother-in-law had cancer 3 times, and his insurance paid for it. And then his insurance, after they said he was in remission, they dropped him, and he couldn't get insurance. He spent over $2 million in healthcare fighting cancer, Then it came back a third time, and he said, "You know what? Screw this. I'm not going through this chemo no more." It just tore him up as a human being, and he said, "Nope, I'm going to enjoy my family, and this is it." And I'm going to tell you something. It is sad. Number one, healthcare has gone out of control. And then number two, if you're in places like Canada, and Scott will attest to it, the amount everybody says, "Oh, Canada's healthcare is free." Bull crap. Okay. Bull crap. There ain't nothing free. You're paying for it somewhere. And then the wait time is absolutely it's crazy.
Our wait time is our problem is shortage of machines.
Yeah.
They're going on a MRI kick right now. They put a whole bunch of CTs in. Now they're looking at putting MRIs in. And I'm like, who didn't see past the end of their nose to think, why don't we just spend an extra 100,000 per machine and get an MRI instead of a CT that'll only allow you to do this much, but an MRI is that much.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. When they do MRIs, you're in the tube anyway. And they're saying, okay, we're going to do an MRI of your back. And so that's all they said. Just do the whole, you're already in the tube. Just do the entire body. Let them look at it and say, "Oh, wait, we've seen this down here." Catch everything at once.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't make no sense, because I had to go in there and do an MRI for my back. Then I had to go in there and do an MRI for my hips. Then I had to go in there and do an MRI for my knees. What the hell? They're only 3 or 4 feet apart. Just do the whole thing and get it over with. But that's not how they make their money.
You're throwing logic in, Mike. You can't do
know.
that.
There's a private company in Montreal, which is about 2 hours east of me. And now this was before COVID. I don't know what it is now, but it used to be $100. They do a full body scan.
Yeah.
And privatized. Like, they were booking 24 hours a day. People wanted it done. Government tried to shut them down because they weren't making this big money. It was actually privatized.
Yeah. And so I want to tell you something. Yeah, we shouldn't be paying for it, but here's what happened to me. Went to Muskogee, to St. Francis Hospital, their imaging center, and they did an MRI on me. And so before I got on Veterans Healthcare in Oklahoma, I had to go up there and do an MRI on this shoulder right here, or no, this shoulder, because I was using my TRICARE insurance, my retired Army insurance, my TRICARE insurance, to repair this shoulder, because they said, "You need surgery now." So I used my TRICARE before they approved my Oklahoma VA. And so I went up there and they took an image, blah, blah, blah. They're good to go. My insurance paid for it. Then I went back after I got on the VA healthcare, and I had to have one of my lower back or something they had to do. So I went down there. They knew, because it was in their system, that the order came from the VA. But who did they charge? They charged my insurance company, TRICARE, which is Humana, and asked them. Humana said, whoa, we didn't request this thing. We ain't paying crap. So they went back. They did it several times. Then they came after me, and they said, hey, I said, wait a minute. So I looked on My Healthy Vet, and I had the date. And I looked on there. I said, well, there's the order from the VA. So I called their financial department and I said, here, this is why my TRICARE insurance wouldn't pay it because the VA requested it, and you keep trying to bill them. So they looked at it again. They sent the bill to the VA, and the VA said, you're only worth this according to Medicare or Medicaid. So that's all they pay. The next thing I know, and we went through this for almost a year. The next thing I know, I have a debt collector telling me you owe $47 because that's all that they could get from me. And instead of saying, okay, let this thing go on, I just paid the $47 and moved on, and they closed it. Okay. And I did it on my first thing when they sent it to me the same day I paid it, because you don't want to have a 30-day on a recovery of funds, because it goes onto your credit report after 30 days. You're done, and it's going to stay on there for 3 or 4 years or whatever. So we just paid it. But now I go up there because I got to go up there for an MRI because they said your back is tore up from the floor up again. So I got to do another MRI here in McAllister, and I take the order and says, VA, do not use TRICARE, okay? Because I'm 100% onto the VA at 90% safe. So yeah, it's a freaking frustrating thing, and I couldn't imagine what parents go through with their children that have, whatever going on in their lives, and you have to fight, because it just seems like it is a business. They don't give a rat's about you, your children, or anything like that. It's about paying the stockholders and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm off my rant about that crap. I hate doctors. I hate the insurance companies.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary, welcome in.
But even, like a lot of people say, we pay through our taxes and whatever. It's two different types of economies, and like we pay 38%.
Yeah.
Is your federal side, which looks after all the fund grants and all the different things that they want to publicly
So you're
fund
paying 38 cents on the dollar
for
to
healthcare.
your federal.
Yeah. Now, it's worked out for me because I could only imagine what my neck would have cost me being a U.S. citizen. I probably would be in a wheelchair because I couldn't have afforded it.
Yeah.
I had a handful of MRIs, CTs. They had to cut my spine apart. I'm missing 3 sections of my spine.
Yeah.
Like that they don't do that for free. And you look, Joe from Garden State Gardener, he for his young lads, I believe it was cancer surgery.
Yeah.
Was $2 million.
Sure. Easy.
That's I can't even wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
That a child has to pay $2 million to live.
Right.
Up here, you get a child, they rush them into surgery up here. So, it's just, and you guys look at us like it's a different way of, or different style of healthcare. And we look at you guys going, oh my God, how could one ever imagine to live, Who was the one lady that she was part of our, Jesse might remember her name. She was always in our lives. And then she started with back issues about the same time I did, maybe a little bit after. And to my knowledge,
Talking about Jody Young?
Lila
no,
Newton?
she was down near. She might have been Oklahoma. She used to. I know she'd come in the whenever we
JB?
always have our after parties.
Not JB.
No. Oh my God. Her husband wasn't well either. And I'm just thinking, just for you guys to survive, I can't even wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And,
Well, see, I will tell you that if it wasn't for Terry pushing me every time with the VA and just go back to the doctor, okay? Because like I told her, I'm going to tell everybody, I am right with God.
Mhm.
Dying does not scare me at all.
Nope.
When people pass away, and people want to take somebody that is ill to the point where machines are doing their thing, and if it wasn't for machines, it'd already be dead. It is our selfishness as human beings to want people to fight and get better instead of, okay?
Yeah.
And I get that, because in the grand scheme of things, our brains don't work the way God's brain works, and we don't understand. And we will keep fighting and fighting, and we want the people that are sick to keep fighting and fighting. We don't care how much it's going to cost, how much we're going to go in debt and stuff like that, because that's the selfishness of being human. And it is a great thing. But I will tell you that I am right. Okay. For many, many years, I was not right. Trust me. But once I got to that point in my life where I got right, I go because Terry wants me to go. Okay. And maybe that's her selfishness as a human being too. But I will tell everybody that the people that are running our health care do not give a crap about you. You could go into a hospital and you see that, patients' bill of rights and this and that and all these great things. That is just a smoke cover, a smoke screen, okay, for you to get off their ass, okay, and not bug them to do better. Because the only thing I see is people, stockholders. That's why all these hospitals are private. When I was a kid, the biggest hospital was the county hospital. And that's where everybody went, okay? Because there were more people that couldn't afford healthcare when I was a kid. My family, we grew up on welfare in the county hospital, and you only went to the hospital unless mom or dad or grandma couldn't reattach your arm, okay? You didn't go. They fixed you up. I mean, grandmas were like freaking doctors back then, and my grandmother was an RN. Man, you are not. If you had a sniffle, my grandma you'd drop your drawers and boom, penicillin. And if you were a kid that was allergic to penicillin, dude, you're dying. You're dead. Okay? Because the weak don't survive. And I'm telling you, I remember many a times I had wounds. Hell, I will tell you this. When I was in first grade, I was a wild child. I didn't go to pre-kindergarten, kindergarten. I didn't do my 3 years before first grade, right? So I'm in there. I don't want to wear shoes. I'm taking my shoes off. My teacher is chasing me around the freaking classroom. I hit the desk, and you know the chalkboard, the metal aluminum chalkboard that didn't have safety tips on the end like they have now. It was
Ripped you
just
from
a
stem to
chalkboard.
stern.
Boom, straight into the face, the edge of the chalkboard thing, and I was hanging there, stuck with an aluminum thing through my cheekbone. And they had to call the nurse, an ambulance, pull my face off this thing, and take me to the hospital. My grandma, she worked at the hospital, Southside Hospital, and they had called her as an emergency contact, and she met the ambulance. She took me from where they delivered me in the ambulance, put me in her Ford Falcon car, and drove me home. I didn't see Doctor One, and she doctored me up. She goes, "We can't afford that. Get your ass in the Falcon. We're going home." Didn't see a Doctor One. And she doctored me up, and I just have this little scar right here. But when you feel my cheekbone, you can see where I went into the chalkboard. You can feel that right here where I was. For a while, they thought I was going to lose my sight. But I'm just telling you that these hospitals and these insurance companies, they don't give a crap about you. All they're worried about is paying their stockholders, like that guy who got shot, making over $1 million, $2 million a year. What the hell do you do to deserve $2 million? Because you're making decisions. You're not doing it. Somebody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Your decision-making process is not worth, in any means, it's kind of like an athlete. You playing sports and you can hit a little ball is not worth, $346 million over 10 years. Trust me. But that's where society's at. Okay? That's where it's at. So something's got to change.
Here's my question.
And
Terry speaking.
I have a bill in front of me.
Yeah.
That United Healthcare paid. And they paid 11%, basically, of what the total bill was. So we have laws in this country against price gouging.
Right.
Tell me how that's not price gouging that these places are charging. It's price gouging.
It's only price gouging if it's not the standard.
Yeah.
If that's the standard, then it's not price gouging.
Yeah.
Price gouging is where your insurance charges you $10,000 and then tomorrow they change it to $20,000. That's price gouging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that's the norm, it's not price gouging. They're charging everybody the same.
If our government will only pay 11%, then maybe they should regulate it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely right.
Well,
and if you're on insurance like that, I'm going to probably get a bill for another part of it because that's what they do.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about Doge, what Doge is doing, trying to find all the waste, abuse.
I thought he
and they need to do the same thing with insurance.
Oh, Doge hasn't gone away, just Elon Musk has.
Just Elon Musk.
His 120 days as a consult is over with. But he's still advising, and everybody's worried about, he's doing this and he ain't doing shit. He's just telling you, hey, you're tore up from the floor up, and this is the areas you're at. President makes a decision. The cabinet directors make the decision. Elon has never made. He just said, hey, here's my recommendation. If you want to make $469 billion, here's my recommendation. And all these smart CEOs that are part of that team, everybody concentrates on the little computer guys, 18-year-olds and stuff.
On big balls.
If you look at the team, the 7 guys that are on there, they are multi-million and billionaires that have said, hey, we would love to dive in and look at what your government's doing. And I'm
Right.
sure if they dove into the Canadian government, you guys would be going, see, I told you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
any country would. Now the states are doing that. Florida just built a Doge team, and they're tearing Florida apart.
Other
And
countries are
Florida,
thinking about doing the same thing as well.
they've already found out that they can stop property tax with what they're finding already.
Yeah. See, our big issue up here, and I've done 2 motions, but I have to be very careful on how I say it up here, is our welfare system is out of control up here. Come on
Yeah.
up to Canada. We'll look after you. We can save I figured it out to almost $11 billion over 5 years. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I've done private, because I'm only a little peon, I can still communicate with the big peons.
Right.
And I do at least twice a year send motions up to them.
Yeah.
But you were saying, being right with God. And I went into my surgery 75-25. 75% I'd walk off, and there was 25% that I wouldn't even come off the table.
Yeah. No
But
doubt.
to me, I made it right. And I was ready to, I was ready to go up and fish every day and not have, constant pain every day. And
Sure.
now, would I ever do anything? No. But
Yeah.
just the thought of that for just a minute second was like, wow. And you might live in as much pain as I do, if not more, because you thought it'd be fun to jump out of aeroplanes.
Yeah.
And I bet you, everybody says, well, was it worth playing football? Yeah, it was. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Would you do it again? No, I'm a lot smarter now.
Yeah. 'Cause what you do at 20 will dictate what you're going to be at 40. And
Exactly.
year after that, too.
Yeah.
And I was a dumbass all the way up to 39 years old. So I'm paying for it now.
That'll do it.
Hey, there's
Yeah. But do you feel anything in your hips now?
I do. I can tell they're artificial. Just standing up and taking the first steps until it starts going. Your hip sockets are drier, so you actually feel stuff like that. But the gnawing pain is gone. Okay,
So it's a different type of pain then.
It's before it was just whether I was sleeping, whether I was doing anything, there was
throbbing,
constant pain. Now, when I make a wrong move, I go, "Whoa, that was a wrong move."
Yeah,
You got to move your foot when you're turning. Don't leave it there.
Okay.
So you feel things like that. The knees are next to go, and then we'll see. I might be walking around going, "I am Iron Man," whatever. But
I told my kids their inheritance is up and down my neck.
And I will tell you that this right now, if you have your hips done, you're never going to walk the distances that you've walked before. And I will tell you that your feet muscles tighten up, okay, to the point where it actually, like when you're actually, if you walk too much, it feels like pulled muscles in your feet because your foot has more bones and stuff than any other part of your body. Because you got like what?
Yeah, because all your other muscles are overcompensating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that my back is starting to hurt. So now I got to go in. I think it's next month, the 10th or something like that. They got to do another MRI because I may be going back into surgery. Because when you have what I've got, degenerative disc disease, that means that little padding in between your vertebrae is gone. Okay. So what happens is your bone starts building up calcium and it puts like a knot in a tree to support so they don't slip out.
Yep.
And my back's doing that again. So they're going to have to go in there because they put some kind of product in between my vertebrae. But it's all going back. And that was back in 2013. So
well, you got a good many years out of that then, Mike.
yeah.
Because look into the injections. And
No, I've done those.
I did 2 rounds though. I did one that didn't work. This guy that I'm with right now, he's a godsend. I can run out of his office.
Not literally, but yeah.
Well, I could if I really wanted to, but who the hell wants to run?
I would love to see you run.
Hey, I used to be the fastest at the 100-meter.
Well, yeah, and I was 160 pounds at one time, but you know what? We ain't there no
ain't
more.
that anymore, brother.
Yeah, they used to call me String Bean. You know.
No, I was
now they call me Orca.
Moose.
Now they just call me Orca.
No, I was always known as the Moose.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, guys, we are at 10:11 in the morning. I was hoping that Julie would come on here, but I will tell you that we did put the information down at the bottom on Pinecones Fest. If you go over to Heard That Outdoors, they did a short live, if you will, and we sat on there and talked about who's bringing Blackstones and what's the meal suggestions and stuff like that. But Pinecone Fest meetup is October 10th through the 13th, 2025 at Walleye Park in Mount Vernon, Texas. Okay. Remember, you can't make reservations, and to do that, you have to go to the Franklin County Water District or fcwd.com and make your reservations. And you can only do that 60 days in advance. So come August 10th, be ready, be prepared to hit the send button on your reservations at the RV park. Whether you're tent camping, RV camping, or travel trailer, whatever. The closest hotel really is the Super 8 up on the highway in Mount Vernon is the closest one, but there are a lot of Airbnbs on the lake. So go to airbnb.com or whatever that thing is, and you can search for Airbnbs, especially if you want to bring people together and split the cost of an Airbnb. Could turn out to be cheaper than getting a hotel. All right. So
normally
check
is
options out. I'm bringing my Blackstone. Tony's bringing his Blackstone. Chris is bringing his Blackstone, and Randy is bringing his. So we'll have at least 4 grills there. So that's more than enough to take care of the crowd. And we're ready. We're absolutely ready. Terry's leaving on the 6th, and she is going to Missouri, and she is going to stop by Jan's Ozark meetup. She's going to go there. She's going to spend the day with them. I believe she's going to spend the day on Saturday. So it might be the 7th she's going there. And then she's going to bring some giveaways to give there. And then she's going to head up to Columbia, Missouri, visit her uncle, and then down to Fort Leonard Wood to visit her mom. She's going to do the Missouri Loop and then come back home whenever she comes back home. But I'm farm setting, so everything's going to be taken care of here while she can go and visit with y'all down there at the Ozark Meetup on Lake Palm de Terre.
Here, yeah. Here.
Yeah.
So when you go when
wait.
you go to Pinecone Fest this year, Mike, make sure you take your utensils with you.
Instead of buying them every time I go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know the good thing about this time? I bought my third set of Blackstone utensils to cook, but this one had the big pancake flipper.
Yes.
I'd never seen one.
Same thing.
It's big and wide, and Terry was just scooping them up and making pancakes. So
I hear you.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we'll bring all the pancake batter to the meetup. We'll bring that. If somebody brings the syrups, and we will use the Blackstone and make flapjacks.
Well, let's find out what they decide on what they're going to do first.
That's right, but I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
But yep.
Anyway,
Palm de Terre. Yep. Anyway, guys, hey, I'm glad everybody came in here. Remember, Morning Talks with Mike is every Monday and Friday, and 8:30 in the a.m. I also go live on Sergeant's Talk TV every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Myself and Jason over at White Rock Homestead. He is my battle buddy for this, and we're going to be talking about 5 secondary conditions that you can claim on for PTSD. People don't realize that you can file for secondary conditions on already claimed disabilities and stuff. So we're going to be talking about that this week. And then Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the PM, Terry and I go live with MT Homestead, and hopefully everybody can join us in there. Maybe I can get Julie and Randy to come in during that one and share all the information. I'll call Julie and scold her for not coming in this morning. She's probably sleeping because they didn't work today. All right.
Yeah, they're
most
sleeping.
people are off, so she's probably, man, I ain't getting up no 8:30 in the morning when she could sleep. But anyway, guys, we absolutely love you. Remember, be kind to one another. Help somebody in need, and always think of that. And I thank every vet that's listening. I pray for the families who've lost our nation's heroes, and we pray for them that this day can comfort them. Guys, remember, freedom is not free. Okay, it's kind of like, talking about free healthcare. It ain't free. Somebody's paying for it. But freedom is not free. There are people who have given their lives so stupid people can say what they want. Smart people can say what they want. Delusional people can say what they want. And people who make sense can say what they want. And guess what? Welcome to America. Guys, we love you. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Toodles.
Thanks, guys, for coming in. All right. Let's end this thing. Terry's making breakfast.
Nice. We're just in
Where's the
time.
bacon? Where's the bacon?
No, where's the sauce?
I do smell bacon.
Don't
Oh,
smell
I
mine
was
yet.
hoping she'd make pancakes.
I was gonna say
Ooh,
I
she's
don't see
making
your
pancakes
bacon.
and bacon.
I don't see your bacon
What
yet,
else?
Jesse.
I don't even smell it much as I
You
see
making
it.
scrambled eggs.
Not yet.
Scrambled
I hear
eggs,
it. I
bacon,
hear
and pancakes. Because our grandson Weston is spending the night. He's tired
Nice.
of sitting up at the hospital. So grandma brought him home. So, all right, guys, we love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Take care,
All right.
guy.